Don't turn your face around, you can't come undone. And hey, did you call, did you fall, do you need someone, do you need someone? And hey, I'm a mess myself, but I think I could be someone. If you need someone, I was alone, it was fun. I could deny a lie, I could just push back and make believe, and it was alright. But hey, when you call, when you fall, when you need someone, I could be someone for you. Hey, did you call, did you fall, do you need someone, do you need someone? And hey, I'm a mess myself, but I think I could be someone. If you need someone, and I was alone, it was fine. I could deny a lie, I could just push back and make believe, and it was alright. And hey, when you call, when you fall, when you need someone, I could be someone for you. Who's up? I'm a night owl. If you can't stand the heat, let the fire die down. It's a wrinkle in time, got some things to iron out. If you need a shoulder, baby, here, cry your eyes out. How could I be upset when I get what I get? Yeah, ain't nothing alarming, that's why I overslept. You said I'm not next, and you said I'm not the best. Go ahead and touch your toes, little man, that's a stretch. Yeah, I'm up and I'm set, how could I be upset? Even when I'm down, still down for what's next. Oh, you coming with me? Follow my lead, yeah, watch where I step. I'm just doing my best, I'm up and I'm set. Y'all can figure out the winning broke it down, I ain't even breaking sweat. Numbers looking good, that's a domino effect. We wanted your best, but you gave us all less. And you know that was foul while you're arguing with the ref. Had to stack the decks, how I'm dealing with the stress. I just wanna be alone, be at home, but I'm Shrek. I'm acting like I like you, baby, quiet on the set. Been running laps around you, let me let you catch your breath. Yeah, I'm up and I'm set, how could I be upset? Even when I'm down, still down for what's next. Oh, you coming with me? Follow my lead, yeah, watch where I step. I'm just doing my best, I'm up and I'm set. Y'all can figure out the rest. They kept passing on me, so I had to intercept. You ain't going where I'm going, and with all due respect, a peasant parallel, yet we'll never intersect. You stay in the back, don't take a single step. Treat me like I had you, I'll go on ahead. It ain't even close, you ain't even gotta check. If we were Siamese twins, we wouldn't be neck and neck. Yeah, I'm up and I'm set, how could I be upset? Even when I'm down, still down for what's next. Oh, you coming with me? Follow my lead, yeah, watch where I step. I'm just doing my best, I'm up and I'm set. Y'all can figure out the...
I had to trade in my King James, I feel like Ohio. We made a soundtrack for the real ones who love the Messiah. If you need proof, just tell them go click the link in my bio. Bring out your Bible, hop in the pit, then start a revival. Bring out your Bible, hop in the pit, then start a revival. Bring out your Bible, hop in the pit, then start a revival. Bring out your Bible, hop in the pit, then start a revival. All of my brothers, we pouring the spirit, I'm not an elite. Sword of the spirit, ain't holding no choppers, we not an elite. All of my sin is as far as the west and as far as the east. Jesus, Yeshua, HaMashiach, whatever you please. If I break a bone, I go to the doctor. Breaking my soul, I go to my God. If I have a question, then we finna wrestle. I don't mean to rock. I got a brown commander-in-chief, and I don't mean Barack. I walked on the water and fell in the sea, so I'm dripping a lot.
Life gon' life, the church gon' pray, the king gon' come, the world gon' praise. Life gon' life, the church gon' pray, the king gon' come.
You can't be involved, you don't send no threats, I am the threat. Do you believe in love? All right, guys, good morning. Welcome to C3. Stand and sing with us. We're going to get our hands together for this one. Just a sec. There we go. The dawn, our souls awake to you and lift a song. We've seen the things that you have done, and still we know the best is yet to come. There's more to come. So open the gates and let your glory come down. Open our hearts and let our worship pour out. Your presence here is all we need. You break our chains with sounds of victory. You're changing everything. So open the gates and let your glory come down. Open our hearts and let our worship pour out. Open the gates and let your glory come down. Open our hearts and let our worship pour out. Come flood this space. No one else could take your place. Come have your way. No one else could take your place. Come flood this space. No one else could take your place. Come have your way. No one else could take your place. So open the gates and let your glory come down. Open our hearts and let our worship pour out. Open the gates and let your glory come down. Open our hearts and let our worship pour out. All right, you guys can take a seat for a moment. Good morning. Welcome to C3. Let it kind of fizzle out. Good morning. Welcome to C3. My name is Sarah, and we're so glad that you guys are here this morning. As always, if you are new or if you're not new, you can always go check out the hub to see all the new things coming up. But if you don't want to check out the hub, I'll tell you what's coming up. In a couple weeks, it is Mother's Day. Who's bought their mom a gift? Oh my, okay. All right. Okay, so anyway, I have not bought my mom a gift yet either, but that's okay. Anyways, so yes, in a couple weeks, it's Mother's Day, so you can get on the hub and see what we're doing, but we're gonna have some treats here for the moms. Even if you're not a mom, if you're just somebody who's like a mom to somebody or, you know, just a cool lady, then we'll celebrate you too. And we're doing child dedication, so you can get on the hub, sign up for that, and bring your kid up here with you and pray for him. And then also, pictures. There'll be free pictures. So dress up for your mom, take the picture, you know she wants you to. And yeah, I think those are all the important things coming up. But as for this morning, we're just going to sing a couple more songs. Good? Okay, all right, so stand back up. Okay, sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulty, but I think we're good. So you can stand back up, we'll sing another song or two.
It's a narrow road that leads to life, but I wanna be on it. It's a narrow road, but the mercy's wide, 'cause you're good on your promise. I'll take you at your word. If you said it, I'll believe it. I've seen how good it works. If you started, you'll complete it. I'll take you at your word. Oh, you spoke, and the chaos fell in line. Oh, I know, 'cause I've seen it in my life. It's a narrow road that leads to life, but I wanna be on it. It's a narrow road, but the tide is high, 'cause you're part of the waters. I'll take you at your word. If you said it, I'll believe it. I've seen how good it works. If you started, you'll complete it. I'll take you at your word. If you said it, I'll believe it. I've seen how good it works. If you started, you'll complete it. I'll take you at your word. You're good on your promise. Yeah, I know you're good on your promise. And you said your love would never give up. You said your grace is always enough. You said your heart would never forget or forsake me. You said I'm saved, you call me yours. You said my future's full of your hope. You've never failed, so I know that you'll never fail me. You said your love would never give up. You said your grace is always enough. You said your heart would never forget or forsake me. And you said I'm saved, you call me yours. You said my future's full of your hope. You've never failed, so I know that you'll never fail me. I'll take you at your word. If you said it, I'll believe it. I've
great. Sing this next one with us. This is one of my favorites.
I was hopeless, I knew I was lost, and death and darkness were my only songs. I needed someone to come rescue me, and mercy heard my plea. And Lord, you found me, you healed me, and you called me from the grave. You gave me your real love. I thank you, Jesus. You washed my sins away. And now that I'm living, I've been forgiven. You came and set me free. And that's what your mercy did for me. You gave me beauty from my guilty state, and now I'm living day to day by His grace. So excuse me if I can't contain my praise, 'cause I know that I've been saved. Lord, you found me, you healed me, and you called me from the grave. You gave me your real love. I thank you, Jesus. You washed my sins away. And now that I'm living, I've been forgiven. You came and set me free. And that's what your mercy did for me. And every morning, mercy will restore me. I will proclaim. And even if the world may fall before me, I will proclaim. Lord, you found me, you healed me, and you called me from the grave. You gave me your real love. I thank you, Jesus. You washed my sins away. And now that I'm living, I've been forgiven. You came and set me free. And that's what your mercy did for me. And that's what your mercy did for me. And that's what your mercy did for me. Oh, that's what your mercy did for me. That's what your mercy did for me. And that's what your mercy did for me.
All right, take the next 30 seconds, say hello, good morning. Wait, stand up, stand back up. To somebody you don't know, somebody you don't know. Say hi to somebody you don't know.
Thanks.
Okay, no dumb jokes or opening questions today. Okay, I'm just gonna get right to business, get you guys out of here for lunch. But what we're gonna do is we're talking about a story in the Old Testament, so thousands of years ago, and it has multiple characters. And what we do, just kind of a side note, we have a Thursday team that comes in every Thursday, and what we do about 2 weeks ahead, so 2 weeks ago, we sat down and just read through it, ask questions, kind of see what people think. In the middle of kind of going through the story, I said, like, David, and people were like, wait, you mean like David with Goliath? And you mean, like, everybody was confused with the characters. So I just thought, to get you guys all started, I'm going to tell a story. It's going to involve 4 people, but just so we can all kind of get a feel for who these people are, we're going to walk through that. And I was just trying to think, if I'm going to create a movie with this story, I've got to have these 4 characters. So this is who I'm going to choose, okay? First is King Saul, okay? I'm going with Leonardo there, and the reason I chose that is Saul actually started out as a really good king. The Israelites, God's people, were like, we want a king. Everybody else has a king. You don't need a king. You got me. I'm God. I'm the king. Like, no, we want a king. So he's like, okay, I'll give you a king. But just know when you get a king, it's not going to be what you think. Saul was the very first king they had. He was really good, did well. Then he started getting jealous, and he started getting like really paranoid about people taking over. God asked him to do something very specific. He didn't do it. And God's like, I'm removing my hand from you. You no longer have my blessing as king. And he's like, I'm going to choose somebody else. And that's when David, that's basically when David was chosen as the shepherd boy out in the field. Just kind of giving you a quick background real quick so you kind of know what's going on. But King Saul had a son named Jonathan, okay? And Jonathan was like a crazy warrior, like legit, amazing. And this is where the story's kind of unique. Jonathan and David were best friends. And you would think if you were the son of a king, so you're a prince, so when your dad dies in that lineage, you become the next king. Makes sense. Well, but what was weird about this was even Jonathan knew that God was saying, no, your dad's not going to be the king much longer, and my new king is David. He knew David was the next one. So you would think he would be like, I hate him. He's taking over my job. I should be the king, not him. They were best friends. Like, they were so tight, like literally tighter than brothers. And then Jonathan had a son named Mephibosheth, okay? And as we're about to see, he was crippled because of an incident that happened. And then finally, real quick, just for my casting calls, everybody gets it, okay? That's who I would choose for David. I'd go with a little bit of Black Adam there, right? Okay, so you got these two, David and Jonathan, fought in wars together. They were like really great friends, soldiers. So that's 4 characters. Does that make sense? Okay, everybody good with that? Okay, just so when I start saying things, you know Saul is the current king, about ready not to be king. David's the current king. Jonathan's his son. And then Jonathan's, the grandson of Saul, is Mephibosheth. Good? Okay, good. So here's what I want to say then as we kind of get through this story. We're going to talk today about damage. Damage. The damage done to you, the damage that you maybe have done to others. And what I've learned in my life is that damage will always try to diss you. Okay? Anyone in here like 25 and under? Raise your hand. Anybody 25 and under? Okay. Will you just tell me, do you use the word diss anymore? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, no. But you guys are like my age and older, right? You used to be like, oh, man, you just diss them. Diss was like a negative thing. But I was thinking, what damage does, if you think about it, it does diss us. Well, what do I mean by that? I got a few words here you can look at. I think when, let's say that in life we get damaged, we get dropped. Or let's say in life that we make a mistake or we damage others, we hurt people, we make mistakes, things that we kind of can't get past, or we feel guilty about, or our brain just keeps going back and back, all that. What's it lead to? It leads to us feeling like we're a disgrace, right? Maybe you feel like you're a disgrace to your parents or your spouse or your kids, right? We feel disgraced. The other thing is it makes us feel like we're disqualified. Oh, I can never do that. Oh, you would never want me. Public, here's my favorite thing, right? People say, man, if I walked in that church, you better have good fire insurance. That place is going to burn to the ground. I'm like, well, my brother's here, okay? So if he's here, everybody's good. God hasn't burnt down by now, he can't. Like, no. But seriously, but you feel disqualified. That's not how it works, though, at all. The other thing is dislocated. Oh, no, I just feel like I'm kind of drifting from God. I'm farther away from God than I used to be. I'm not close to him anymore because of what I've done. Now it's like, now I don't even know if God's happy with me. Which leads to the last one. We can start feeling like people, and maybe people are, or even God is disappointed with us. You see, what happens with damage is it disses us, causes us to be dissed. So, as you kind of think about that, here's where I think it gets dangerous. When I start feeling like I'm disgraced, or I'm disqualified, or maybe I'm distant from God and I'm dislocated, or go down the line with all the disses, then what happens is I start getting this voice in my head and I start kind of running through this like these whispers. And you got to be careful about the voices in your head. You know that? You do. You got to be careful about the whispers, because I've learned that the whisper I listen to most is the one that typically wins. And for some of you here, or some of you watching online, that's the whole problem. You got this voice in your head that you keep coming back to and say, well, you know, it has to be true because it sounds like my voice. That's the problem with the voice in your head. It sounds like your voice really well. And that's what damage does to us. So this morning I want to give you just 3 quick thoughts from this story. We're going to be in 2 Samuel chapter 4, then chapter 9, and talk about these characters that we just talked about. The first is this. What do you do when you get dropped? What do you do when you get dropped? What happens, right? Damage doesn't just hurt you, it hides you. So look at verse 4, 2 Samuel chapter 4. It says, Saul, remember the old king, his son Jonathan had a son named Mephibosheth, who was crippled as a child. He was 5 years old when a report came from Jezreel that Saul and Jonathan had been killed in battle. Now, what you're about to see here, and I'm going to stop there for just a second, okay? So in this culture back then, 4,000 years ago, whatever, if a king was taken over by a new king, they didn't just kill the king and his wife and his kids. They traced anybody tied to him, and they killed all of them because you didn't want someone uprising at some point. You didn't want a grandson or a cousin coming back at you. So if you had any blood relation to the king, the new king is going to kill you. So literally, here's Mephibosheth. He's 5 years old, probably playing with a toy in a room, and they come in. They're like, hey, did you hear his dad and his grandfather both have just been killed in battle? It's over. The new king's going to kill everybody, so you've got to run. Now, I told you about the Thursday team. Katie, she's in here. She's in the Thursday team. And what was interesting, we read through this first part, and she said, whoa, I got to call timeout. I don't get this. And it wasn't just her, like we all were saying it, but she was the first one that brought it to the point. She said, he's 5 years old. You're going to find out here in a second that literally the nurse grabs this 5-year-old, and they run, and then she falls and drops him, which caused him to be crippled. She called foul. She said, one, why was a 5-year-old needing to be carried? She's like, it doesn't make sense. But secondly, how do you drop someone and make them crippled, right? Like this, how is this story really adding up? And it made me even think even more, and we kind of talked about this. If you think about it, it seems like it's such a minor fall to do such major damage to this person. Some of you in here could probably tell your story, and some of us would be like, come on, that's mine. Oh, that girl told you that in junior high. Who cares? It's minor. Right? But a minor fall still can cause major damage. Look what it says in the next verse. It says, when the child's nurse heard the news, she picked him up and fled. But as she hurried away, she dropped him, and he became crippled. He became crippled. She dropped him. She dropped him. I don't wear sunglasses, okay? I feel like this face does not need to be covered. No. You guys aren't feeling it today. I get it. That was a bad joke anyways. But, yeah, I don't wear them. I never have. And so we went after Easter. We went on spring break, my wife and I. We built out our van so we can stay place for free. So we go to Myrtle because you would think when you're staying for free, you go somewhere nicer. Not us. We love the dirty Myrtle. Okay, so we're loving it there. But even driving there, she was like, why don't you ever wear sunglasses? I was like, I'm not covering this up, right? And she wears sunglasses all the time. She's like, no, you're always squinting. And I said, you know what? I am. When I get to the beach, I'm going to buy a pair of sunglasses. I said, here's my problem, though. I always lose them or I break them, something. And she's like, no, we'll be okay. So we get there. We go in this little beach store the first day. And she's like, oh, do you like these? These look good on you. I'm like, no. We find a pair. It's like $5, just black. And I also probably don't like sunglasses because, no offense, guys, I got a head on me like a house cat, okay? So I put glasses on like they go like this. Anyways, so I was like, yeah, we'll just do those. So I'm at the beach, and I put them on. I'm telling you guys, I don't ever wear sunglasses. I was like, this is amazing. Like, even my eyes, like I'm not squinting. It doesn't feel like there's a strain. She's like, yeah, it's probably not good for your eyes to have sun just glare. I loved it, right? But here's the problem. Day 2, I didn't wear them. You know why? I already lost them, right? In my van. And the van's not very big, and we're living in a van. Like, yeah, it's like, this makes no sense. Couldn't find them. I was like, I didn't want to tell her, like, I misplaced them, so I just whatever. So day 3, I find them, wear them. We come home. My daughter had a tennis match. I wear them on the way to tennis match. I feel good. I'm like, you know what? I'm a sunglass guy now. I am. There's no better way to drive. There's no glare. I just wear them. I look good in them. She says I do. All good. So literally, it's Friday. We come home. And we're walking something, and I'm carrying something out to the car, have all this stuff in my hands, and I put my glasses on top. Guys, I kid you not. I literally take a step, and I hear this loudest crunch. And I was like, did I just break my glasses? I didn't want to tell her because she's already clearly knows I'm a moron, right? Like, you can't take care of anything, you lose stuff. And I looked down, I just smashed them completely. So I'm like trying to hide it, and she comes walking out, it's like, what's going on? Nothing. I'm trying to hide it so much, but I just completely mauled my $5 pair of glasses. Then I had to steal a pair for my son. But here's the point of all this. It's okay. It's okay. At the end of the day, other than being a little bit, knowing I'm an idiot, $5 glasses don't matter. I dropped them, they broke. But what about when it's you? What about when it's somebody that you care about? You see, it's not just $5. It's not just something we can all just say, well, I'll just go take a pair from my son's room. We'll find a pair back there. It doesn't work that way because it's your life. So I want to give you this. I don't know if people fully get this all the time, and maybe this can kind of help you. I've got a really expensive pair of shoes here from Enzo Romeo, okay? So this is a shoebox. Now, why am I telling you this? I think hopefully this can help you with your damage a little bit. You got to realize as a person, if you're watching online, you got to realize as a person that you are really three parts, okay? You're a body, you're a mind, and you're a soul or a spirit. Now, think about this for a second. Your body is what everybody sees. You young people in this room, hear me out, okay? Your whole life, people are going to judge you mostly by what they see. But according to God, that's not really all that you are, and it's actually probably the most minimal part of you are. But here's the thing about your body. This is the container. All of our bodies get damaged. They fail on us. We start getting sick. That's part of life. Nobody's going to live forever. Why? Because your body doesn't last forever. That's your body. But inside your body, we have your mind, okay? And you can tell if this can be maneuvered a lot of different ways. So my mind is kind of my thinking patterns. So for example, let's say this. I'm 10 years old. And I want to get candy at a store. I don't know why at 10 I want candy at a store. Probably should be younger than that. But we're walking through the checkout line, and I'm like, hey, Mom, can I get a Reese cup? And she's like, no, we don't have the money for it. So what I do at 10 is I lose my mind. I start making a scene. And she's like, just be quiet, just be quiet. We'll get you something. See, I learned something in my mind. I learned a pattern. If I don't get what I want, I can just get loud, aggressive, or throw a fit. Now, you know what happens? Now I'm 45, and I'm married, and my wife's like, we're not going there. But I wanted to. So what do? You see, I've got a brain pattern. All of us in this room do. We have thought patterns that kind of get contorted and shifted and changed, crumpled sometimes. And sometimes even our brain thought patterns get damaged. But here's the point about us as humans. So you've got a body. You've got a mind. That's why the Bible even talks about renewing your mind. Because you can actually take your mind and say, you know what? I need to believe more good news. I need to not be as crumpled here. The Bible says you can do that. But there's something different. This is actually your soul. I was going to wear these today, but it didn't match my polo. Smooth, aren't they? Yeah, this is your soul. This is the one part that's eternal, unchanging. And according to the Bible in the New Testament, once you put your trust, you don't have to come forward, you don't have to do any razzle-dazzle. It's like once you believe, put your trust in Jesus, he makes your soul completely brand new. This is untouched by life. So I think for some of us, we get confused sometimes because we're like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm a bad person. No. You did a bad thing. That's not how it works. Why? Because your soul is eternal. And according to the New Testament, if your trust is in Jesus, your soul is made brand new. Now, does that mean my body's always going to follow? No, it doesn't. Does that mean that my thoughts always thought? And this is why I think we struggle. We're like, no, I know I'm forgiven, but I'm still a bad person. No, you're not. You might have bad thought patterns, but according to the Bible, in Christ, you're brand new. That's not how it works. So there's three parts of us. The reason I tell you that is because I think sometimes when we get damaged, we turn it away from I did something bad to I'm a bad person. Not, oh, I failed, that's a mindset, to no, I'm a failure. You see, that's internal, and that's never true about God. That's not how it works with the New Testament. Okay, I know, I went off a little bit, but I want you to see that. Why? Because sometimes damage happens to you. Some damage you're going to carry, but both will try to name you. So let me give you just two more kind of quick thoughts, and we'll go. First is this. Living in no thing doesn't mean you're nothing. Living in no thing, you're about to find out the place where Mephibosheth, I'm going to start calling him Sheth because it's a tongue twister for me. The place where he lived was called no thing. Even if you live in no thing, that does not mean you're nothing. Damage doesn't just hurt you, it tries to define you. It does. And I think that's for a lot of us in here. Now, let me go on one side note real quick, and I promise I can go really fast after this. Hopefully this can help you guys. If you know my story, didn't grow up in church. We weren't really church people. As a teenager, about 13 years old, I decided to walk over to this little Baptist church beside my house. About a year in, I become a Christian, put my faith in Jesus, get baptized. Great church, great people. All of them was 80 plus, and there was me. 5 of them, 1 of me. Great people, love them to death, thankful for them. But hear me out for a second. Here's what I heard for about 5 years, though. This is the story. They'd say, oh, it's all about the gospel. I remember a guy first day said, it's the gospel. I was like, okay, what's the gospel? He's like, it means good news. Great, what's the good news? And he said this. He said, it's the fact that you've messed up. You're broken. You're damaged. You've sinned. And because of your sin, so he told me, you deserve to die and go to hell and be tortured forever. Ooh, that's not good news. And he said, no, but because of what Jesus did for you. See, Jesus took your sin, he took your punishment. And because he did that, now you can be completely forgiven and you get to spend eternity with him. And that's the good news. And I was like, it's great news for me, right? I come from a bunch of knucklehead brothers. Best news I've ever heard. I'll take it. But over the last, I don't know, probably 10 to 15 years, I've learned if it was just that, okay, great news. I love it. But the gospel is so much more. It's not just the small gospel of one day. It actually is power for every day that we live. You see, what I'm learning right now is every problem I have in life can be answered by the good news. Well, you know, I'm just stressed. I'm just freaking out. Well, what's the good news? Trent, you're not in control. God is. I know, but what if he doesn't do the things? He may not do them the way you want, but you're not in control. So here's what I get to do, Trent. Right? Some of you in here, you won't take chances because you failed at some point, and in your brain, your mind said, I'm a failure. And the gospel says, no, you're not a failure at all. Right? Every issue that we face, temptation, what are we doing? I'm trying to find something that will give me the same pleasure that only God can give me. Every problem in your life can be literally answered by the gospel, the good news. It's much bigger than just life or death. It's every single day. And what you're about to find out about this poor kid is he was believing a lie. What's really the greatest part about the gospel? The more and more I believe the good news of who Jesus is and what God says about me, the better my life gets. Here's a guy who is crippled living in a town called No Thing. Look what it says in verse 3 of chapter 9. It says, the king then asked him, this is David, is anyone still alive from Saul's family? If so, I want to show God's kindness to them. Wait, David, this kid didn't do anything for you. See, I forgot to tell you guys, David and Jonathan made a covenant. Now, a covenant back then, no, not a pact, not an agreement, not a handshake. A covenant back then, history will tell us, the Israelites would take an animal alive. They'd kill it, and then they'd cut it in half, so it's bleeding everywhere, and it's gross. But then they'd take the 2 parts of the animal, typically it was made covenant, and the 2 people would face each other, and they would literally walk in like a figure 8, and they would meet in the middle, and here's what they would say. If we break this covenant, may what happened to this, God do with us. And it wasn't just for each other. David and Jonathan said, we're going to make a blood covenant where not only do we take care of each other, we take care of each other's family as long as we live. So Mephibosheth did not do anything to deserve this. The king just said, no, because of my covenant. You guys know there's a new covenant, right, in the New Testament? New Testament means new covenant. It's an agreement where God said, I can't make a promise with people. They keep letting me down. I'll make a promise with myself. And because of my new covenant in blood with his son, I will always show kindness to them. Ziba replied, yes, one of Jonathan's sons is still alive. He is crippled in both feet. If you want to go back and read sometime, read through 2 Samuel, you'll find it's fascinating. They hardly ever say this guy's name. They just always talk about the crippled one. Now here's what I've learned about damage. You got to be careful. If you're not careful, damage will start naming you. If you're not careful, you'll be this. You'll be like, oh yeah, I know, I'm the one that's been married 5 times. I know, I'm that one, right? What happens is you start getting named because our society loves this outer box. We love it. This is how we judge everybody. Oh, yeah, I know. She's the one that, let's just say, doesn't have the morals we do. Oh, you're talking about him. You mean the drunk. Yeah, I got you. Oh, no, you mean the annoying one? You mean the one who's always like just trying to get close to us and none of us want to be around? Oh, yeah, that person. Oh, you're talking about the one who has that addiction problem, right? See, we all do it. And here's what they said. He's like, yeah, he has a son. I'm not even going to give you his name. He's the one that's crippled. He's the crippled one. He's the damaged one. And I love this story because it gets so powerful here. Look, it says, the king, he doesn't even pause. He doesn't care. He says, where is he, the king asked. In Lodabar, Ziba told him, at the home of Machir, son of Amiel. Lodabar. Lo in Hebrew means no. Dabar can mean bread, pasture, communication, but the best translation is probably just thing. So literally, here's a crippled guy living in a town called no thing, no communication, no food. He's forgotten. Now, can I tell you something that's really dangerous? You got to be careful. Sometimes when people drop me, or I feel like people have forgotten about me, I can turn and say, God, why have you dropped me? Why have you forgotten about me? Right? We equate it all to when something happens in my life, I'm like, why would God allow this? Or why would he let this happen to me? Why is he doing this to me? And if you look, King David said, no. Where's he at? I've got a plan. See, David represents God and Jesus, and we represent Mephibosheth. What's going on? We're damaged. We're hurting. And he says, I don't care. Just tell me where he is because I'm going to pursue him. I wrote this down. Don't let your mistakes or even the people who left you miss out on a God who's always pursuing you. Now, I'm going to try experiment number 2. I did this in 9:30, okay? I want you guys all to be brutally honest, but tell me how you truly feel, okay? It did not go well at the 9:30. We'll try it again. How many of you and I want your honest assessment. How many of you believe, all you have to do is raise your hand, you believe God could forgive you of any sin? That forgiveness, okay? Hold on for a second. Hold on, I'm going to push a little bit, okay? What about someone who kills somebody else? Want to drop it yet? What about someone who hurt someone who is completely harmless, innocent, a kid? Someone's like, I don't know about that, right? Believe it? Okay, you can put them down. I want to share a story that Rod Rosenblatt told a few years ago, and it hit me. And now I'm going to push it, okay? It's going to make you probably a little uncomfortable. We're going to get a little bit shady here, but it hit me. It was so powerful. He told a story of a friend of his, a lady who was middle-aged, maybe my age, somewhere around there, and she was about to get remarried. And before she got remarried, she started having some issues, ends up getting married, and she talks to a friend. She says, I've got some issues. I had an abortion years back, and she said, it haunts me. I can't get over it. I literally can't. And she said, but the worst part is my new husband, who's the greatest ever, has no clue. So her friend's like, well, you need to talk to a pastor. So she goes to this Lutheran church, this Lutheran pastor, and he sits down, and she starts telling him she's struggling with forgiveness. And he says, oh, we have a plan for that. And she says, no, you don't understand. Once I got divorced, I thought I was damaged goods. And she said, then I meet this guy, and he's amazing, and we really hit it off. And I went home after our first date, and I said, God, I've got to tell him. I've got to tell him what I've done. I know it's bad. I got to confess to him. At least let him know. And then if he doesn't want part of this, that's fine, but it's killing me inside. But she didn't. And she said, one day it became 2, 3, 4, 10. She said, we're in the car one night, and he starts talking about getting married. And I think, oh my gosh, he's going to ask me to marry. I got to tell him. And she said, okay, before he asked me, before the engagement, I'll just tell him. She told the pastor, but I didn't. She said, I sat on our wedding day in my dress, sick at my stomach. I needed time. I just needed time for the wedding. If he calls it off, he calls it off. But I didn't. She said, we're getting ready to celebrate our 1-year anniversary of marriage, and he's amazing. But I've never told him. What do I do? And the pastor said, well, they're Lutheran. He said, well, we have a service for this, and what you do is you're going to confess, and then I'm going to absolve you from your sin. He's like, okay. So he went through the confession and how good Jesus is and how he forgives us and asked her to pray. And she prayed and said, Lord, will you forgive me? And she finished it, and he said, you're forgiven. And she said, I'm not going to lie. I feel better. Get this. But what do I do about the abortion? And this pastor looked at her and said, what abortion? See, that's how God works. The sin you can't forget, according to Hebrews, God can't even remember. The Bible tells us as far as the east is from the west. Mephibosheth, this cat thought 100%, this is who I am, this is my destiny, I will never get out of this place of Lodabar. And he had no clue the whole time the king was pursuing him. So what's that lead us to here at the end? And I want you to kind of catch this as we close up shop. The table says what trauma never could. This story gets so good. Look what it says in verse 6. So David sent for him and brought him from Machir's home. His name, I'm just going to call him Sheth, okay? Because the other one's a tongue twister for me. He was Jonathan's son and Saul's grandson. When he came to David, check out his mindset. He bowed low to the ground in deep respect. David said, "Greetings," Mephibosheth replied. "I am your servant." "Don't be afraid," David said. "I intend to show kindness to you." Some of you in here are like, "Oh my God, I know God's mad at me. God probably hates me." Here's a picture of the king, ready? He says, no, don't bow down. I came to literally show kindness to you. Don't be afraid. He says, because of a promise, because I did something, because of a promise I made a long time ago with your father Jonathan. Here's what he says, "I'll give you all the property that once belonged to your grandfather Saul. You will eat here with me at my king's table." Mephibosheth bowed respectfully and exclaimed, "Who is your servant that you should show such kindness to a dead dog like me?" Now, we lose in translation a little bit what he really said, okay? He says, "A dead dog like me." Now, we're Americans. Most of us probably in here, watching online, most of us online, except for the Norwegians who join us. Hola. I don't know what they say, but whatever. Hello, Norwegians, okay? I love your cruise line. Never been on it. Sounds great. No. But for most of us Americans, we love dogs. We love dogs. So we hear dogs, "Oh, I don't want a dog dead, but I like dogs," right? No. In this culture, they were feral. They weren't tamed. They were just a nuisance. They were dangerous. So even to call someone a dog in Bible times was like a pretty big insult. Do you see what he says? He wanted to get off the ground. He's like, "No, I'm a dead dog. I'm a dead dog. I'm literally the lowest of the worst." And David's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? This isn't how this works." I don't know if any of you have seen the little Instagram story. I get these all the time, probably because of the algorithm and it knows I like cheesy stuff like this. But I actually looked it up. It was a study in the late 1800s, but it's called Pike syndrome. Basically, real simple, just summarize it for you. But basically what happens is they put a pike, which is a really aggressive, like carnivore type fish, in an aquarium, and they put all these minnows that it would just devour and go nuts. But then they put a glass right in the middle and separated it. And according to the study, these pike would ram the glass just constantly. They said so much so you would see blood, like it would be hitting its face, its mouth. They said it was ripping off its scales. They would try to whip on the side, viciously trying to get to food. But they said over the course of days and weeks, something weird happens. It starts slowing down, but the pikefish doesn't just slow down. It would start going into the corner and not moving. They said after a week or two, you'd look, and this fish that was all aggressive just laid there. And this is what they did. So they took the glass and lifted it up. And all these little fish started swimming all around the pike. It literally doesn't move. Some are swimming by its mouth, it doesn't move. They said a few days later it died of starvation with food all around it. And they call this the Pike syndrome or the Pike effect. And what it's basically based on is learned helplessness. So what we see from him is he's literally like, "I don't deserve it. I don't need to be here." And the king's like, "Get up, boy. Get up." Okay? Here's the beauty of this. What if it's just not maybe the moment that broke you? What if it's deeper than that? What if it's actually the meaning you gave to that moment? And God says, "No, I want to redeem the moment. I want to redeem the meaning." Last verse. "And from that time on, Mephibosheth ate regularly at David's table, like one of the king's own sons." Now, before we kind of finish this up, I want you to catch this, okay? David didn't fix his condition, but he changed his position. So let's pretend today, as we finish this up, you're crippled 4,000 years ago. So maybe they put you in a chair. Maybe they carry you around. Maybe they always set you in a room. If I was him, let's be honest, that's the one thing people are going to notice when you walk in. My son's deaf. He has a cochlear implant. And I can just be honest with you guys, if you walk with him in a store behind him, you know what you see? Right? Anywhere he goes somewhere new, everyone around is like, "What's that?" So here is this guy. No matter where he went, everybody was like, "Oh, sorry, man. I hate that." So he probably learned to do what? If it were me, I'd cover my legs all the time. Can I just sit in a chair? Just cover my legs? Right? Because it consumes you. It's your identity. You're the crippled one. Look what David did. The king doesn't just pursue him. He literally carried him back to the chariot. He takes him back to his house. And look what it says. It says he set him at the king's table. Now I want you guys to think about something. If I am crippled sitting at the king's table, the one thing that consumed me my whole life now gets completely covered by the king. What consumed me for 10, 15, 20 years, the king covered in one moment. Maybe what consumes you, maybe what is destroying your life, the king says, I'm not saying I'm gonna fix it all. There's consequences, but I wanna cover it. And what consumes us gets covered just like that. You know the beauty of the covering? The king's table and the king's grace covers your dis. See, here's what trauma says. Disgrace, disqualified, dislocated, disappointment. You know what the table says? All grace, all forgiveness. But it doesn't just say grace. I'm not now disqualified, I'm qualified because of what Jesus has done for me. It goes deeper than that. I'm not dislocated, I'm not far from God according to the New Testament. My trust in Jesus, I've got a brand new heart. Literally, it says me and God. Now, you don't hear this much because we all like to hear this. Well, you better get better, boy. That way you get back closer to God. Well, according to the New Testament, if Christ is in you, you're in him, it's a done deal. You can't get closer than that. Now, I get it. You're like, no, listen, I went on a bender this weekend, and I was doing stuff I don't even remember. Trent, if I told you the stories, you'd blow. I get it. So maybe you don't feel good about yourself. But your location never changes once you're in Christ. It's locked. What about this? God, I know my wife's disappointed in me. My kids are disappointed in me. So you have to be disappointed in me. And God says, no, I'm not disappointed. I appointed you because I was willing to give my son so you could be forgiven. Think about this for a second. You may still feel the damage, but you don't have to live defined by that. You can still feel the damage because it's life. He still probably felt the pain every day, but he was no longer defined by what consumed him all those years. So, as we close the day, let me just kind of, I wasn't going to say it at 9:30. I'm going to say it to both. Just keep it in both. Let me, before I pray, give you kind of a thought I think that helps all this. Okay? All of the world's problems are solved by the good news of the gospel. Let me explain that real quick. You see, in my life, one of two things is going to happen bad. I'm either going to get dropped. In the last few weeks, I've been dropped by people I trusted. Just the other day, someone was talking to me. I don't like to say this because my wife's in here, and then when I get in the car, she's like, who was it? Right? And you can't tell, I don't know about you guys, I can't tell my wife any of that because she hates them for life. She'll hate you for life. But this person said some things, they weren't true, very hurtful for me. I got dropped. Right? But can I be honest with you guys, over the last couple weeks, I'm sure I've dropped some of you. I've dropped people too. So sometimes I get dropped, sometimes I drop others. But here's the thing about all that. When I get dropped, you know what I want? Can I be honest with you guys? This isn't churchy. When someone hurts me or drops me, you know what I want? Payback. I want justice. Because there's no way they can just get away with that. It's not fair. So when I do something wrong, or when someone does something wrong with me, I want justice. But you know what happens when I drop somebody else? When I hurt somebody? Like if I really drop the ball, say today, I say something I shouldn't have, something big. If I really like mess over my wife and she's like, I can just tell she's steaming on the couch. You doing okay? Fine. You're not talking much. I don't want to talk. Like, okay, I'm in trouble. You know what I want more than anything when I've really screwed up? I want to get in bed and look over at her and go, it's okay. I forgive you. So when I drop somebody or do damage, I want forgiveness. When someone drops me or does damage, I want justice. The gospel answers both of those because here's what God says. God says this. No one gets away with anything on my earth. Every single wrong, jacked up, messed up thing, I paid for. So much so that I sent my son to pay for all of it. And I punished him with the world's vengeance on him. Now think of this for a second. So some of you are like, but Trent, you don't understand. When I was 12, what they did to me, they deserve to pay for it. God's like, oh, it's been paid for. It's been paid for more than you could ever imagine. And for some of us here, that's how we get, okay, so now we have full justice because God says nothing goes unchecked. But we also have full grace because he says, now all of you can receive forgiveness because he paid it for you. See, that's what I hope you guys get about the good news because once you get to that place, you live freer. I live freer the more good news I believe. I do. I don't have to walk in today and think, oh my gosh, I got to perform for you guys today, and I hope they like it. I hope everybody here tells me good job. I don't have to do that because I'm already approved by him. I can just be me. I don't have to be fearful all the time. What I'm going to say that hurts somebody, so I can be me. Why? Because I have full justice and full forgiveness. I don't know what your damage is. I hate that you had damage. I hate for some of you in here, you've been beating yourself up for years because of the damage you've done to other people. And you say this, I just can't forgive myself. I just could never pay back the hurt I've done. But God says you won't. But I did. Some of you in here are just like, you don't understand what they did to me. There's no way I can forgive them. But God says, I took care of it. I already paid the debt. Now you can live free and forgive. That's the good news. So this morning, let's pray for just a second. If you would just close your eyes. Father, as we come before you this morning, I want to pray for a group of people in this room or watching online who have been dropped. Father, I couldn't help but think of some people walking in this morning, even as I was talking, making eye contact, people in this room right now that I know their story. And I know they weren't dropped in a little way, God, but in a huge way. So much that it damaged them from being a little kid on. And God, I hate that, but more than anything, I know that you hate that. Because we were never designed to live so broken. I pray today for some people in this room that have been dropped. Maybe some of us in the room, some things have happened and we can't get past it. God, we've wondered where you were. We don't feel like you showed up for us. Some of us, if we're honest, even feel like, God, you've dropped us. Today I just pray that we would be reminded the whole time we have all these images of God and people. The King is pursuing us, waiting to carry us and set us at his table, change our position. Pray for that. Pray for some people in this room who've dropped others, done some major damage. And today, the one thing they need more than anything else is for you to say, you're forgiven. The debt has been paid. Jesus on the cross had an amazing phrase. He said 3 words, it is finished. Meaning all debt is paid, and now we can live free in him. God, I thank you for this amazing good news. I pray more than anything we would be people who walk out freer, lighter, people who realize because of what you've done for us, we now have good news that doesn't just last till when we die, but actually every day in our lives in this moment. Thank you for that amazing good news. Jesus, thank you for giving it all and pursuing me so I could sit at your table. Remind me every day this week and remind all of us we're not abandoned children. We're your sons and daughters. You've adopted us in. Thank you for the seat at your table. We ask this in your name, and amen. Guys, Phil's going to be giving us week 4 next week. Don't miss it. See you then. Take care.